The other thing is in the business I do now, not only are people really successful, but we help people who've lost houses in foreclosure get a big refund back. That's really meaningful. I get people average $50,000.
What about looking back on your deathbed? You'd be looking back on this and you'd be like, this was good. Like, I did really well there. What was that?
So I get a couple things. I have a lot of very successful students whose lives have been completely changed. And that started out with the investing business. And sometimes it's just I had one guy who was a carpenter that used to work for me, and he joined up with my program, and he got a house for about half price, a beautiful little suburban house, way more than he could have afforded. And for him, that was all that he did. He got his house, got it for, at the time, it was a $200,000 house. He got it for $100,000, and that's what he could afford. And he had this beautiful house for his family. And, to me, that's success, having this constant stream of people behind me who are successful. Now, everybody's not. Lots of people don't do anything. It's whenever you do what I do, it's like having a financial gym. You can have all the equipment, you can have all the coaches, you can have all the systems, but if they'll come to the gym, they're in the same shape financially they were in last year or this year, and that's okay. That's just where they are. The other thing is in the business I do now, not only are people really successful, but we help people who've lost houses in foreclosure get a big refund back. And that's really meaningful. And I get people average $50,000. So for someone who lost their house at tax sale or mortgage foreclosure sale and doesn't think they're ever going to get anything, to get a check for $50,000 is really, life-changing, gives them some confidence, gives them money sometimes just to get back into housing. It's not going to be that simple. And that's because, and I'll just explain it because I don't leave a mystery for everybody. What we do is we contact people that have lost a house at a foreclosure auction. If the house sells for a lot more than the debt, we can get them that extra money back. And those are the rules. That they're just obscure. Not many people know that. So they have no idea to look for the money. It's like having a winning lottery ticket and not realize it's sitting in the bottom of your drawer. And
yeah, the government makes it so confusing and so complicated that you can't really know this. It's not like it's not like they teach you in school about most of this stuff, right?
No. Well, they make a lot of money. If you look at Maricopa County, which is Phoenix, Arizona, any given time, they have a little over $30 million in that account. And the money sits around for 3 years, for 36 months. So for round figures, it's almost $1 million a month that the government gets to keep because people don't claim it. Because, it's 30 million over 36 months. So it's not quite $1 million a month, but somewhere close to that. So why would they say anything? If you're collecting almost $1 million a month that they can use for whatever they want to use it for. And it's not like they steal it. I mean, they use it to fill potholes and things like that. But it's really on the backs of the poorest of the poor. I mean, you're talking to someone who lost their house to foreclosure, and you're like, oh, we're just going to keep all the money, even above the taxes or above the mortgage amount. It's not cool. It's terrible. And it's really fun. And you're more of a tech guy than I am, so you might understand this better. But so Google does not index those lists. If you put, Bob Diamond, and I was on the list, say I'd lost a house in Phoenix and I was on the list, it won't pull up that line entry. What it will pull up is the existence of a list. If I type excess funds Maricopa County, it'll come up with the list, which would be probably 150, 200 names long. But the only way to see an individual entry is to just read through the list. And it's not even in alphabetical order. It's you just read through the list. It's in the order of sale date. So it isn't an order, but it's the order of sale date. So if you're some soul that lost his or her house at tax sale, the only way you're going to know there's money is if you randomly type excess funds in the town where you lost your house, get the list, and then manually look through it. And oh, by the way, do it within 3 years, because otherwise they just keep the money and won't give it back.
How come there's no law that says that the county has to contact you, or at least make an effort?
So there are 2 states where they contact people. Connecticut and Florida will send a letter 2 to 3 months after the sale to the house that was lost.
To the house? Oh, come on.
I can't make this stuff up, man. They send it to the house. And the other thing is, so when people in that situation get a letter with the return like the seal from the county and the return or seal from the court, they don't open it because they're terrified. It's like, oh crap, they took my house. Now what? And I've been in houses like I've been in the foreclosure business for a long time. When I used to go talk to people who were facing foreclosure, they'd always have a pile of unopened mail, like legal mail and things like that. And I'd be like, all right, let's see when your sale is. And they just wouldn't open it because they were burying their head in the sand. So I think even if they were still in the house, which they're not, but even if they were, I don't think they're opening the letter. Personally, I think they're. And would you, if you're in that situation? You might. I don't know. I wouldn't.
I don't know. I tend to bury my head in the sand about most things in life as well. Like there's things in life that I have to deal with that I procrastinate for months before I finally be like, okay, Igor, okay, enough. Have to deal with this, just have to. And it can go down to the smallest things too, like getting my car detailed or something like that. Like I'll be just so focused on the two primary things in my life, which is my work and my kids, that I'd be, sort of ignoring and boxing out everything else. So
Yes,
anything that doesn't seem like a critical, urgent, super important thing that has to happen right now, like it'll be pushed back and I'll be procrastinating about it.
I do the same thing. I mean, I think maybe this is a successful person. I wonder if you do this. So I get up in the morning and I usually have 2 or 3 things I have to do that day. Like just for example, talking to you. This is set in stone. This is going to happen. Nothing's going to get in the way.
It's in the calendar.
Right. It's in there. And, it's not, I can't just call and say, hey, can we just do this tomorrow? Because it's just not that. You can't do that. It's unprofessional. So there are just 2 or 3 things like that. And those things, I do not leave the office until they're done. But the rest of it, there's all kinds of stuff that gets procrastinated. And a lot of it goes away and I never deal with it. That's the other secret. Sometimes procrastination can be good.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. I do that a lot where I would wake up with like the one thing I have to do today, because I found that it's easier for me to compartmentalize things. So it's like there's one thing I have to do and it has to happen. But when it comes to calls with people, you're right. Like if it's in the calendar, I can't bail on it. So I'll block out, like I'll just not think of anything else aside from what's in front of me.
That's what I did when this is on my calendar. I put padding half an hour ahead and half an hour behind. And then, so when the half hour ahead came, I brought all my equipment out and started setting it up. So I'm like, I should do that. Because otherwise I'll do like an email and then say, oh crap, I got 7 minutes to get all the stuff set up. And then inevitably there'll be a problem. But if I got nothing else but this done today, it would be okay. Like the day would have been a success.
Yeah, exactly.